and welcome to another edition of the One Team We Agree On. I'm Jillian.
And I'm Kyle. How are you doing today?
Pretty good because it is Christmas Eve when we're recording this.
It is, and the season's upon us. It's that time of year.
Brandy and eggnog, there's plenty to share. Yeah,
Yes.
I could start singing it, but I'm not going to.
But anyway, on today's show, we thought we'd drop a little fun episode. A lot of union news as of late. Recently they had the locker room sale. So Jillian, loving fashion as she does, we're going to review some of the slides and kind of some of the merchandise we got. And the schedule came out. So I want to talk a little bit about the CONCACAF Champions Cup and the 2024 MLS season. But before we get started, what are we wearing today?
Well, as the season's upon us, I am wearing my Sons of Ben ugly Christmas sweatshirt.
And I'm wearing my Fight for Philly hoodie. It's really comfortable. Got this as a Christmas gift one
Yeah,
year.
I think my mom got that for you.
Yeah, so thought we'd wear some holiday themed stuff. Although mine's
Yours isn't holiday themed.
yeah, it was more of a Christmas gift, but still.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, so before we get started, make sure to subscribe or follow and please leave comments. We love interacting with you. You can find us on all the main social media places. That is, we're on Facebook at the One Team We Agree on Instagram at the same, and we are here. We're most active on Twitter, actually, I would say,
Yep.
or as X, I'm rebelling and I'm just probably going to call it Twitter forever.
Yeah.
But we're on there at TOTWAG. You can follow us on YouTube as well, and we post this podcast on all major podcasting platforms. So find us wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Yeah, so let's dive into the locker room sale. So on I believe that was
This Monday.
Monday. Yeah, Monday we went down. And a little different. So first impressions for me, having been there last year we were in the actual locker room for the sale. So this year it was a little different. They had us in the stadium club. So for those of you that are season ticket members or have stadium club passes, that's up at the top level. The nice little area you can watch games and a little restaurant, bar, lounge, sometimes players wives hang out there, I believe, or at least at one time they did when we did the stadium tour last year. They told us that. So it was kind of a cool atmosphere, I thought. What'd you think of that?
Yeah, so I thought that was cool. So we got there at I think 4:45 or so.
Yeah.
And so we waited in line. The doors would open around 5:30. I think they opened a little bit early, I feel like, but so it was cold. We were waiting out there for a little bit, and we have some video of that.
Yeah. So let's
why don't you go
share
and
that.
show that? Yeah.
Yeah, let's share that.
So we were there about 40 minutes early and went straight for my place of work. And so it was already fairly long at that point, but not ridiculous. We knew some people were there much earlier. So the line filled up like very quickly though after we got there. It got quite long at that point.
It did. And once that happened, they showed us right up into the area.
Yeah, so into the stadium club. And so once we were up there, they had the line snaking around, and it was nice relief from, of course, being out in the cold. And I'm sure it was nice too for the people who'd never been up there. I'd been up there a couple times, but so it they had lots of tables like on a line. Then you would go down and you could take a look at all the stuff that they were offering for sale.
Yeah, and so a few things immediately that I realized from like last year was it felt a lot more organized. Okay. Last year I got there, I want to say around maybe 20 minutes after we did. I think I was there like 5 or 10 after 5, all right? And the line was much longer. First thing. Second thing, when we got in there, it was there was like this meandering path, but it kind of just like I think they were like, oh man, there's a lot more people here than we thought they were. This year was like, okay, we're prepared for it. We have everything organized. Just a few things that, and before we go back to sharing that, I noticed. One, last year while we were waiting to go in and select our merchandise, There were, I would say, people coming out with loads of, like, jerseys, shorts, apparel. This year when we were there, I heard people saying, "Oh, you're only allowed 2 shorts per person." And then what was it? Like 1 small short
One short sleeve,
sleeve,
one
one
long
long
sleeve.
sleeve, or goalkeeper kit,
Right.
and that was really it. So they were really limiting, which, if you wanted, if you saw, like, with the goalkeeper kits, there's a couple colors we had wanted, but it
Yeah.
also really gave people that were there the opportunity to get shorts and to get stuff. So I was fine with that. It
Yeah,
wasn't
because you said last year, yeah, it was really picked over by the time you got there,
certain areas where, I mean,
like
they
the
still had
goalkeeper
they
stuff.
still
Yeah.
had some of the goalkeeper stuff, but, like, some of the shirts, the warm-up tops that we got, stuff like that was kinda slim pickings. So I did like that. And then we'll go back here, share some more here. So a couple more, go in here. So a couple more things. So when we kind of got in, they kind of had a line, as you see where the people are picking. You kind of start out with the shorts line,
Mm.
and it kind of went all the way down, and then it kind of led to, like, the warm-up tops, and then the keeper kits, and then all the signed apparel.
Right. So they had lots of different shorts. They had things from 2019 to 2020, the player shorts, and there's a lot of Union 2 stuff.
Yeah, and that was cool the how they had, and shout out to our ticket rep, Noah, who was actually at this. He was doing a really nice job of, like, telling everybody what players they are.
Right, he had a list right there of whose shorts they were, okay, what
So
the numbers were.
so if you want to get your favorite YouTube person, you could do that. And then there's some more of the players.
Yep, and then they had some goalkeeper shorts,
Yep.
and we picked up a pair of them, so we'll show them off then, and the goalkeeper shirts as well,
Yep.
and so they were blank, and the cool thing was, of course, then they had a place where you could get Andre Blake's name and number,
Yeah.
um, printed onto there for 10 bucks.
And that was a really good deal because I know at the stadium it's like 15-20 at
Yeah,
least. Because I was kind of like, we'll just take it to one of the local places. We'll get it done for like 15. And it
right.
was like 10 bucks. I'm like,
I was like, may as well do it. I mean, with
yeah.
just 10 bucks more, I'm already shelling out this money for this jersey, but 10 more bucks, what's the difference? I'll just get it done because Andre Blake is one of my all-time favorite Union players, and
Absolutely.
so why not?
So yeah, and then we kind of went through that, and then they had
Uh-huh.
all the cleats. They had some goalkeeper mitts, but they were long picked up since we got there.
Yeah, so I took this picture and basically Kyle, so I didn't go to the locker room sale last year, but Kyle did. And he picked up some things for me. As many of you know, Stuart Finley, one of my favorite Union players of all time. And he did get me some of Stu's shorts last
Okay.
year. I actually didn't see like any number 4 stuff. Whether it was there's none left from last year or if people already got it. But anyway, he had told me last year that he had thought about getting the Stu signed cleats for me. But he didn't want to pay like, how much they were. And I was fine with that. Actually, I think I was at practice and you were trying to get a hold of me
Yeah.
and I was coaching and I didn't see my phone, but I was like that, yeah, that's fine because I don't want to pay that much. Anyway, 'cause I at least have a signed jersey of his. But so there's like all these pairs of Stu's cleats though, and they're 150 bucks each though. They're signed by him. And we do know someone who got one of his pairs. Shout out Evan.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw him I'm like, I would love to, but yeah, I'm already paying for this goalkeeper jersey, and so that's what I'm treating myself to.
Yeah, I mean, and it was really nice. And then the checkout line, and that led right to the checkout line. And then he went back out. I thought
Mhm.
it was really smoothly done. Um, Much more than last year. If I think the overall thing, it was a much more organized event. Maybe they didn't have as much selection. I felt like some of the stuff I was seeing last year, like there were some jerseys and stuff. Um, I think there was like some of like the special event T-shirts and stuff. I think they were going all in for sale. So, but at the same time, I mean, tops are what, 30 to $100, shorts are 20
Mhm.
to 30, depending on what you got. It really depended on if you got like a blank or a player.
Mhm.
So overall, and it all went to the Philadelphia Union Foundation. So it went to a good cause.
Yeah.
And what were your overall impressions, and would you recommend this to somebody?
Yeah, I would definitely recommend going. It's worth, especially if you have some gear you want to get. And if you have a particular player you really like, you can see if you can get lucky and find their stuff. But overall, I thought it was cool. It was worth going down, in my opinion. I'm
Mhm.
glad I went. And, you know, honestly, it was nice just going down there. I missed going to the Sub
Yeah,
they didn't do a holiday party.
not that. Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, I didn't hear anything about
yeah.
anything, so, nothing this year, which was strange. So,
So at least they did something.
yeah, I mean, yeah, so we're gonna show off what we
Yeah,
got here.
let's show off what we got.
Okay.
So if you're watching on YouTube, you can definitely check this out.
Okay, and I'll just if you're just listening on the pod, I will do my best to describe. So the first thing we got, well, I should say, well, let me show you my favorite thing I got. Anyway, so I got a gray long sleeve goalkeeper jersey. Okay. And it's like what Andre would have worn this year, I believe. But it has Blake at 18 on the back. So we got that printed and it's a brand new one. So they were selling brand new, like with the tags on ones. And then we'll keep in the goalkeeper kind of area here. We have some kind of teal colored um goalkeeper shorts, and they are number 1. So we know they're matte freeze.
Yep.
Okay. So, got them and, next we have some yellow shorts.
Yeah.
Okay. And these are number 7,
They are used. So
Mikel Ua.
he must have used them at some point.
Yeah. Kyle's joking, like, are they be the ones maybe he was wearing in the cup? And I'm like, well,
I doubt
I
that.
doubt that.
But yeah, number 7. Mhm.
But yeah, so got that. And next up we have I picked this one out. A number 8 warm up top, gray warm up top here.
Mhm.
Okay, so of course that is Brujo Martinez. All right, so that okay. Here we have this is one with tag on it still. This is
Yeah, this didn't
Jake.
have a number. This was one kind of like what Jillian had got me earlier, another cut off. Kind of like that cut, so I wanted to get another one.
Yeah, he had we look there were ones with numbers too, but he wanted a blank one because he wants to actually wear it and work out in it.
Yeah.
Because he likes the tank you like the one I got you.
Yeah.
That was a Christmas gift last year. Okay, and we have also a number 7, Mikel Ua,
Yeah.
warm up top here, partial zip at the top
Yeah.
there. So that is nice.
I really like the one I got day game.
Yeah,
So I
that is
was like,
nice.
they're really comfortable. I like the other one that I've worn a couple times on the show. Just with the little thumb sleeves on it, where you can it
Yeah.
comes out really nice, especially in the fall, winter. So
Yeah, and then when we were checking out, they gave us a freebie, these snake neck gaiters,
mhm.
okay, with Philadelphia Union Foundation on them. So that's pretty cool. I think that'll come in handy when it's really cold out because as you know, they announced
The
the
schedule,
schedule.
we are going to be freezing.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so, so yeah, overall it was a great event. But let's transition and talk
It's
to.
a good segue into what we're talking
It
to
is a
today.
very good segue. So this past week, we kind of got the dates for the CONCACAF Champions League, Champions League, Champions Cup. Over under how many times this year I'm going to say Champions League?
CCC doesn't roll off the tongue
No,
like
CCL.
CCL.
Yes, Champions Cup.
It's like Twitter. I'm gonna keep calling it Twitter, right?
And then on Wednesday they had released the MLS regular season schedule.
Mhm.
So let's dive into the CCC first. Union, I believe it was last week during the draw, drew a familiar foe in
Mhm.
from 2021 in the CCL. They had played Deportivo Saprissa
Mhm.
out of Costa Rica.
Yeah.
And they in 2021 had won on aggregate 5-0. Again, this year they will be playing them in the opening round. Saprissa, for those of you who don't know, don't follow the Costa Rica Prima division. They won it this year. They won the I believe it's called the Apertura. And because everybody's like, what Apertura? The fall segment of their league, and they were the second highest ranked of Pot Two. Now people are like, "What's Pot 2?" Basically, it's on CONCACAF's league rankings. They rank all the clubs. So you had your top pot, which of course included Philadelphia Union. Then after a certain point, they gave the next pot, and then they basically paired pot one with pot two. Um, the highest of pot two was Vancouver. They were at the 33rd ranked club. And Saprissa came in at 44. So a really tough opening match. We know in 2021 this is a very physical match.
Mhm.
And again, anytime you get into these leagues, they're going to be physical. And I think now that both these teams have played each other recently, and when I say recently,
Mhm.
2-3 years, it's going to be a good game. So
So yeah, the Union's gonna open up the season in Costa Rica on February 20th, and then the return leg is going to be in Chester on February 27th, which is a Tuesday, I believe, and it's
yeah,
not
both
gonna
are
be,
Tuesday.
and the game time is like late. It's like 8:15 or something like
Yeah.
that. So bundle up, people.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. Two questions. First, have you ever wanted to visit Costa Rica?
Not really, but I mean, I've heard of people going there for different things, missions trips or
I hear the
vacation.
nature is amazing.
Yeah, like, I hear it's definitely one of the nicer,
Yeah.
countries in Central America to go to in terms of just, like, you know, safety and,
I've heard very good things.
just, like, should say, just the overall, like, it's nicer, yeah.
So if you've it's definitely a country I would love to go and check out some of the nature and landscape.
Yeah.
So if you've ever been to Costa Rica, let us know. We'd love to know what your experiences were. And yeah, not saying we would go to this one, but what are your overall thoughts of the matchup?
So honestly, I'm gonna be quite honest, I didn't know much at all about this
Mhm.
team, so, yeah, we'll see how it goes, and my main thing I got this, I'm like, more like, wow, it's gonna be cold. That was my first that was my first, yeah, my first reaction there, so
My overall thought is it's going to be a really good challenge for the
mhm,
Union, starting off the season. Obviously, anything we say in this episode, we got to still see how the rest of free agency and the transfer window plays out. But this is going to be a good challenge. Um, and really, when we look at the bracket after this game, the Union would then play Pachuca,
mhm,
who we played friendly against
mhm.
2 years ago.
Yep, when we saw Richard Odata play,
Yes, we did. Shout
never
out to
forget.
Richard Odata. And then from there, I think we would play. It's like the winner would, and again, you will see how the bracket. But there is a window where the Union. There's a bracket where the Union would basically play all Liga MX if they were to make the
Mhm,
finals. So you would have them, and then I think it's Tolkua. I forget how you pronounce that one. Somebody, if you're in the comments, please let us know. I probably should know that one. In the quarterfinal. And then they would play Club America again, another potential rematch in the semifinals from 2021 in the semifinals. And then they would probably there's a lot of MLS teams on the other side, but then you also have Tigres and you got Monterrey sitting there. So there's a good chance you're going to see either Monterrey or Tigres out of that side
mhm,
in the championship. And so we've been talking about last year, all about the travel.
mhm,
And so we had done, and shout out to Jose, he kind of did a little thing. I kind of helped him with it, with just based on what we know right now at this point on December 23rd, what the Union's travels like. That doesn't include
mhm,
Leagues Cup, playoffs, and any additional.
mhm.
So I wanted to see it. Let's say the Union got to the finals. What would that mileage look like? Well, if they were to do that, and let's say the final is in Tigres or Monterrey, the Union, in CCC alone, will have traveled approximately 15,000 miles. Now, you think about that. Last year they did around 40. that's a grind just to start out the season
That
after a
is.
month alone. So I'm really excited. If you haven't been to a CCC game yet, definitely check them out. It's
Yeah,
an experience, and I know they're weeknight, they can be late if you have kids, we get it, but come out. It's a great time.
it's a
The
great time.
and the teams, a lot of these fans travel.
Yeah, they
I
do.
mean, so we wanna also
I mean,
fill
they
up
had, like, people walking through the parking lots with, like, their stuff, their
and
selling.
stands and
Yeah.
fruit stands, it's great. So definitely check this out. Um And then let's get into it because I made kind of like I did for my prediction last year. Wanted to kind of get the jump start on our schedule. So I'll share the screen here. And so I kind of broke this down a little bit. And here is the schedule for 2024. So the light blue is all the potential CCC dates. So you can see how, it's going to go all the way from February to June. Um just a few thoughts on this. Early on in the season, we see a lot of the West Coast teams, the Western Conference teams coming in early on, and then by the time they get done really with, I think their last Western Conference team is Real Salt Lake in April. They're playing the Eastern Conference the rest of the way. So
Yeah.
I wonder if that was by design this year. I imagine so by MLS to kind of keep teams, or what in their conference to cut down travel as the season goes on. I
Mhm.
wonder. I didn't really look at any other team schedules, but I just was a thought I had. Um, and then really kind of moving through, lots of summer home games.
Yes.
Um, should the Union advance to the finals, there's a good chance they'll probably bump the Montreal game. And then of course the Leagues Cup break again. And that'll be July 26th to August 25th. And again, if the Union were to make the final, or kind of like what we did last year with FC Dallas,
Yep.
they're gonna have to bump that August 24th date against Columbus. And then we really kind of after Leagues Cup, it kind of then we go back to regular season play, and then you have your MLS playoffs on right around, I would guesstimate October 23rd through December 7th with the cup final on some. So again,
We got kind of a gauntlet at the end there.
so well, and I'm glad you brought that up. So yeah, I mean, really, when I look at this schedule, I mean, starting with like July 17th with New England,
Mhm.
you got New England, Nashville, Columbus. Then you can say, well, and then there's Red Bull.
Who you just never know what they're gonna be looking like here.
Yeah. And then in September you have Atlanta, Orlando, Columbus, Cincinnati. I mean, and then you put Messi, Miami in there. NYCFC is going to be good. You don't know how good those two teams are, but really, I wrote this down. I think it's 8 out of the last 11 opponents were in the playoffs last year. That's tough. And I mean, your Western Conference competition, you have
Mhm.
KC.
Mhm.
You got KC, you got Seattle, you have Real Salt Lake, but Portland's up and down. Minnesota's always a quality team. Um, Austin had a really good season 2 years ago. They were down this year, but maybe they bounce
Mhm.
back, maybe they don't. Um, it's a challenging season, and of course you have KC in there too. So Union open up regular season play on against Chicago on Saturday the 24th. So that's gonna be again
Bundle up.
bundle up, folks.
Yeah.
But yeah, there. I think what we say there was like just in regular season play alone, including Saprisa's the leg with Saprisa. I think it was at 25,000 miles. So I mean, if they were to make it all the way to the finals, excluding even Leagues Cup, they're right around 40,000 miles already, and that's not including what they do
Mhm.
in Leagues Cup and playoffs. So a lot of traveling again this year. When you see this, what games are you most excited about?
Okay, well, before the schedule was released, we were really hoping for some interesting away opponents that, we could do travel, which we'll talk about in a second. Um, and I think it'll be interesting to play Portland. That was one I really would like to go to, but it's
Yeah.
just not at a good time of year. Number one, it's in March,
Yeah.
and March in Portland's not going to be great. And also, it's during our state championship meet, which is why we were not at the game, the home game against Orlando last year.
Right.
By the way, when we lost, sorry we weren't there. And I blame the loss on us not being there in our lucky jerseys, right? But no. Anyway, yeah, I'm actually excited that we're playing Real Salt Lake, although I was really, hoping that one would be away because we
Mhm.
wanted to go there. I know,
Same with Seattle. Like, those are the
Seattle,
2
like,
when I saw
yeah,
them, I'm
it's
like,
like we're
"Yes!"
playing them, but they're home.
Yeah,
Bummer.
it's like, darn.
I mean, but oh well. And so yeah, I mean, it's yeah, we go to KC this year, and there's let's see, I mean, it's well, should we just go into what we're looking at going
Yeah,
to away?
let's talk about
Because
that.
that's what.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
right away, we're looking at that Nashville game.
and we don't even play St. Louis yet, do we?
No.
No, we still haven't played them. All right. So, yeah, our away trips that we're looking at.
Nash
Uh-huh.
I think that's
We're
one.
seriously considering Nashville
Yeah, I
because
mean,
that's not ridiculously far away.
no, it's not, and
So on a weekend, we don't have anything going on. Our swim season actually is on hiatus at that point.
yeah.
So yay. The one we're saying yes, we're definitely going, I think, is the Montreal away game.
Yeah, because that's only
June
an
29th.
8, 9-hour drive, and we can easily go up there, and we had a great time last year in Montreal, and
Yeah, and we're excited that it's a summer game,
yeah.
okay? And because if it was in the winter, we're like, nope. But also, yeah, we're summer vacation and we loved Montreal and we went there last August and that's why we missed the messy game at the Sub. But we went to the stadium. We were outside the stadium
Mhm.
for those of you who didn't see us talk about it on our pod or whatever. But yeah, I'd just love to go back. And it seems like a lot of people are actually going to go up for that one from talking to people.
Yeah, maybe we'll, throw some stuff out that at least recommendations on the
Hmm.
pod of places to check out that we did.
Yeah.
Um, and maybe we'll do something where we'll say, "Hey, we'll be here at this time, one of the breweries," because there's tons of breweries there, folks. Um,
I mean, there's a bunch.
there is
I wouldn't say it's like crazy amounts. It's not like,
I thought there was. When I was looking on Untapped, there was, like, more than your normal.
and we can go to the Cat Cafe again.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yes, I know some people will be into that. Yeah.
So, another one we kicked around because your buddy's down there, Charlotte. I don't know.
Yeah, Charlotte's a possibility. One of my high school friends lives down there. He's a Philly fan. So, but we were thinking about that too. The ones that are in like football stadiums, I'm always just like, meh. But like,
We'll definitely do Red Bull in
yeah,
DC.
we'll go to those.
I'd love to do NYCFC, but that's on, like, a
It's
Wednesday night.
it's like on a school night for me. So that's gonna be kind of hard to swing. I'd have to probably take like a half a day at least off of school but that's not till my next school year. Um, so I'll consider it, but that might be one. And we've gone to the NYC one the last like couple years that's been away. So it's like I hate to miss that one because that's always good. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Another one that's not too far, and I thought about it, and we'll see. This is, like, way far away, is, Toronto, because Toronto's not that far of a drive.
Yeah, and actually, well, one of our swim families, they originally from Ontario and like
Yeah.
near Toronto, and I'm sure they could give us lots of info there. They
So maybe we'll go to Canada twice this year. Who
Yeah,
knows?
I've been to Toronto, but when I was in high school on a school trip, and so I didn't really get to see much of it, and I would love to visit it again. So,
So overall thoughts on the schedule?
well, it's just a lot of games, and I if we don't see the rotation in depth that we were lacking this past season, yeah,
It could be interesting.
it could be very interesting.
No, I think that front half of the schedule, including the back half, is gonna be it's gonna be challenging, and there's really no, like, oh, we got 3, 4. The summer at home is gonna be good. I think that's gonna be kind of where you
That's gonna be
need.
fun.
That's gonna be a lot of fun, a lot of home games there. If we can get some good points early on to kind of give us a nice cushion. That will be helpful. But again, like I said earlier, let's see how the rest of free agency, let's see how the open window plays out. Um, including all that
Yeah.
before we really get into our predictions, and we will be doing our end of the season predictions again.
Mhm.
End of the season, beginning of the season.
Which will
Still,
be here before you know it.
it still feels like we're still in last season.
It does.
But anyway, reason we didn't have Open Cup on there is because we still don't know what's going on with the Open Cup. No one knows.
It's up in the air.
As is reported, we talked with Kyle the Baby and Evan, Rick there at DM kind of touched on it, this is when MLS made the announcement that, hey, MLS next pro teams are gonna be playing in it and not the first teams. All right. And then US Soccer came out and said, not so fast, my friend.
They basically shot it down.
They shot it down. So I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm sure there's gonna be a ruling soon. Personally, I mean, I get both sides of the coin.
Mhm.
And if you haven't, Jose Nunez, our friend, he has posted some really good content on that, just about like, some of the thoughts and kind of some of
Mhm.
that. Kevin Kincaid brought up a really good point. All right.
Yes.
And Kevin Kincaid, when this was first announced, it was a very balanced point that MLS maybe is getting to the point now where it's kind of like college football, everybody wants to see the West Virginia versus Marshall, but really kind of West Virginia now. Yeah, it's a rivalry. Yeah, it's the nostalgia. And that's how I feel. I feel it's the nostalgia. I think with the cramped schedule, um, it's kind of tough, At the same time, I'm not like, yay, MLS is out of the US Open Cup because you need to be participating in your domestic tournaments too,
Yeah.
so it's like a double-edged sword because it's like, yeah, one area, it's really good for US Soccer for MLS to be there, but at the same point, it's like, ah, where is MLS
Yeah.
in that? Because let's be honest, outside of like, what was it, Sacramento 2 years ago playing Orlando, it's
Mhm.
usually the final is MLS teams.
So some people are like, "Oh, MLS doesn't wanna get beat," like how,
I don't think.
Pittsburgh Riverhounds took out, our eventual MLS Cup winner, Columbus. I don't think it's that, but a lot of people are also like, "Well, you know, you're keeping this fake cup, the league's cup, you got all that
That's
added to the schedule, but then we're gonna, basically forget this other tournament that's been around for, has history basically." And I get
right.
that point too.
I get that point
Um,
100%. My thing is, okay, Leagues Cup, you get 3 magically appeared CONCACAF Champions Cup spots. Leagues Cup, there's 1 spot.
mhm,
Alright? I mean,
mhm,
and the way it's played, let's be honest, the Leagues Cup is played kinda like the CC is, where we're kinda getting into our season.
mhm.
Liga MX is kinda already in their season, so that's why they tend to be a little bit better, vice versa in Leagues Cup. Now, they're kinda getting into their season, we're already in the heart of our season. I think Leafs Cup was created, I mean, to kinda give MLS teams a better shot at making some of these CONCACAF, we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Uh, what I think really should happen, I think MLS should leave it up to the clubs. Say, "Do you wanna play your reserves?" And I know there's probably roster rules and things
Yeah.
we have to, it's
I think
not.
there's a way we can meet them here.
Because I agree with what Kyle
Yeah.
said, these MLS Next Pro kids are excited to play in this,
Yeah.
and I think they should have an opportunity because that's where you can really get, developmental,
Yeah.
talent. Like, you see some of these kids come in, they have a great, Leagues Cup, Open Cup.
Yeah.
Now they're vying maybe for more time on the first team. So I also see that argument, and we'll see what happens, but it
Yeah.
is disappointing that MLS didn't have a better exit strategy.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
they just saying, "See ya." Like, I wish they would have, like, said, "We're gonna have something where at you get to a final, yeah, you can put your first team in there and then try
Yeah.
to win it." and take it seriously. Maybe semis and finals you take it seriously, but the other time you play reserves, I don't know.
Yeah, question, what'd you think of the NBA's in-season tournament?
I did not really watch it. Half the time I thought when I was following the Timberwolves, I thought they were playing a regular season
Yeah.
home game, and then like they lost to Sacramento, and they didn't go on, even though they won all of their other games, and it was really weird. Like I didn't understand the tournament. Um, from what the podcasts I listened to that are in the media that talk to the players, they really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Um,
Like, I've heard good feedback about it, but
but also
yeah.
those games count towards the regular season.
Yeah. So
So it wasn't like they're really not. I think maybe, and then they added 2 games and they kind of made up for the other 2 games that there was something where the regular
yeah.
season, this tournament kind of blended. I I really didn't watch it.
Yeah, I mean, the Sixers, not to get too off topic, but this relates. But yeah, I mean, like it was fun watching the Sixers in that. It was weird when the court was all red though. Like, I mean, I see they were trying to set it apart, but um I know I'm not the only one who thought the court looked get it not good with all the red. I mean, again, it was a different look. At first I was just like, oh wow. But anyway, it was interesting, but I would be interested to see like rather than basically putting the season on hold for a month, do you feel like League's Cup could be better set up?
Oh, absolutely. I think you could do it, and I think it was Renee, even said, like, you kinda do it like some of these European tournaments where you do it windows throughout the season, kind of like
Yeah.
US Open
That
Cup.
just would make more sense rather than putting on it was being in the summer and, all of that. It was fun. I'm not gonna lie, I had fun with the Leagues Cup, but
Oh,
at the
yeah.
same time, that just it was just
You you can't
just putting the season on hold for a
you
month.
can't create a tournament to benefit you. Well, you can apparently. And then I don't know. I would rather keep the Open Cup and get rid of the Leagues Cup because there's so many more games too.
Yeah.
I mean, if the union want to say, you know what, we're really not going to
It
prioritize
just dragged
the
on, and then the
Open Cup,
playoffs dragged on. It just all dragged
yeah.
on.
And so, yeah, I mean, having said all that, and we're sounding very Negadelphia right now. I'm very excited for the season.
Oh,
Lots of
I am
new,
too. I
some
miss it,
new
like
teams,
yeah.
some great trips. So let us know. Where you listening are planning on going this year, and hey, maybe we'll meet up. So
Yeah, we had a lot of fun meeting up with people at away games this year, and we would look forward to doing that again, as well as, of course, at the home games. I mean, when we were at Subaru Park on Monday, I was just like, "Oh, I miss being here." So we're driving up and we're on 322, like approaching the bridge and getting off the exit, and we're like, there it is. It's like, "Ah, I missed coming here, and
yeah,
so and by the way, they have more of the roads like kind of finished and paved around there. Not all the parking lot cheese not
yeah,
paved.
you need to get on that. You
Yeah, like there's
start
still work to
moving
do in
those
there.
lots.
But yeah, it made me like miss being there. So I am excited to get back eventually.
Me too. One last topic. MLS draft was in this week as well. Union surprisingly selected 3 players. No, and I want to give a shout. We're going to link this on our show notes here. Uh, Jose, giving him a lot of shouts today.
Yeah, Jose Nunez.
He's been doing some really great interviews with some people. He had a gentleman. My name slips
Y'all
my
know how
head.
Kyle is with
Yeah,
names. Cut him some
who
slack.
is kind of a scout evaluator, kind of markets these players to clubs and works with MLS clubs. Had a phenomenal interview with the this gentleman, talking about our draft, talking about the couple of our signings. Overall, I mean, he said, on paper, the ceiling's, right now, top 10 team in the draft. And,
Hmm.
with that one signed prior to, I think it was the day of or the day before, that's could easily be a top 5
Hmm.
draft for the Union. So, I mean, you get what? You got, well, you signed so far we signed a left back from Houston, the second team from Houston. We signed that midfielder, attacking midfielder from Duke. And then we signed forward from Penn in the draft. Well, we drafted him. We have the midfielder, attacking midfielder, kind of forward from Stanford, and then we got the goalkeeper from Boston University. So, I mean, overall, it kind of goes back to what I said last episode or 2 episodes ago with the theme in the postseason press conference was development. And I think the union are really going to post development. Now, let's see how the transfer window goes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Well, and we'll see what Kai and Alejandro decide too, because that's going to dictate a lot. And
It's
the longer this drags out, the longer you have to start to wonder, are they coming back?
lots of speculation.
There is a lot of
You
speculation
see
at this point.
Kai working out in his union stuff, and there's this speculation, that speculation, whatever.
I
You
mean,
know,
this is the time of the year. Rumor season's flying right.
because we don't have games to go to, and all we want to do is speculate.
So I'm just gonna say, let's see how it plays out. And this is a boring answer, but let's see how it plays out, what happens. But go check that interview out because guy really can give a lot more information than Jillian and I
Yeah,
could.
definitely shout out Jose Nunez. Check it out his stuff because he's been putting out some great content.
But what I do want to add one other thing on that is
And our friend Todd Lewis of the Free Kick also helping out with that stuff, and he's been putting out good stuff too. So if you haven't been
yeah,
checking out these guys, definitely check them out.
absolutely. And one, I think for me, if nothing else, like I think the guy from Penn Stas, he could be a nice forward for you too. Yeah, why'd you get another backup goal? We don't know what's gonna happen. Andrew Rick gets sold. Um, maybe Holden doesn't work out, or maybe Holden, you know, Andre's not gonna be here forever.
We gotta start. Yeah, I mean, we gotta.
The last thing you want to do is just kind of keep, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, we need a backup goalkeeper. Oh, well, Matt Freeze isn't here anymore. So I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to keep
Mhm,
that competition goalkeeper, and I think that's
mhm.
what the gentleman mentioned. So,
And the thing is, we're gonna be missing Andre for some games coming up.
I mean,
And well, we'll see what happens. There's a lot of speculation on could a former Union goalkeeper be on his way back?
I know some people that say that that is not happening in a million years, but again,
Well,
that's speculation.
let's see.
So, that's all for today's episode of One Team We Agree On. But before we go, just a quick show note. Coming up next episode, we're gonna have some fun. If you're a Marvel fan, you know that the new season of What If is out.
Yeah, I'm just
And
watching it.
last season we did our what ifs
Yeah.
um for the Philadelphia Union. So in that, and some people were like, are you bringing it back in the off season? I'm like, absolutely. So
Hmm.
probably next episode, we are going to be doing our what ifs for 2023. So again, if you haven't heard, I think it was 2 or 3 episodes ago. Just send us
What are your what ifs for us? What do you want us to talk about?
like I
What if
mentioned,
this?
like
What if
what
that?
happens if Andre Blake hadn't been injured early in the season? Would the Union have won in Montreal or Orlando? So those are kind of like the what ifs, and then we'll do our what if and have some fun with it. This is a fun
Hmm.
episode. Send some fun questions. But yeah, again, make sure to check out Todd Lewis and Jose Nunez's interviews and episodes coming up because there's some really excellent stuff on their radar as well. So
Yeah, and well, as it is Christmas Eve when we're recording this, and might be Christmas Eve when you're listening
listening.
to it, or whatever it, just from us, we want to wish everyone who celebrates a Merry Christmas, and I can't wait to see what Santa brings you, Kyle.
I can't wait to see what Santa brings you. Um,
Yes,
so there's gonna be some fun things which I'm sure we'll be reviewing at some point.
we will.
All right, and so that's all for today's episode of One Team We Agree On.
And, make sure you subscribe and leave us comments. We love hearing from you. And if you have ideas for topics or guests or anything of that nature, questions for us, please send them our way. We always love hearing from you and getting your input.
And until next time, I'm Kyle,
I'm Jillian.
and we'll see you at the game.